Hi, I'm Rick Kelly from Castrol Racing. I'm going to show you what it's like to live in my shoes. Today's the Wednesday of the Grand Prix. A little bit of a different preparation day for me leading into an event because it's our home track in our home city. So first we're going to drop into our headquarters at Kelly Racing, do a little bit of a revision, look at some data, watch some vision from last year and make sure that we're across the format for the weekend before we head into the track for a track walk. Well, this is my office. Sorry about the mess. Always stuff coming in and going out. But in at Kelly Racing today, it's very, very quiet. Obviously the cars, the truck and all of our personnel are at the track today setting everything up. So I've got some data, some track vision and then some setup notes and weekend planning on this screen that I can look at. So today's all about coming to grips with the format of the weekend, picking up some stuff from the vision from last year, obviously where the different cars strike the curbs, you're looking at turn-in points and all the little things that are important to be in my head. So that first time I jump in the car on practice tomorrow, I'm already up to speed and ready to go, feel what the car's doing and start to tune the car rather than spend the first few outings tomorrow getting used to the circuit and that again. This is what that's about, getting used to it right here, seeing what some of the other cars are doing as well and trying to learn from that. So as I mentioned, got plenty of things to look at here, data and vision, track vision so we can see what the other cars have been doing last year with the lines that they're taking, gears that they're using, see from some in-car vision as well from the other cars, whether they're making brake bias and anti-roll bar adjustments for different corners on the track. It's very handy information because obviously we don't have a lot from everyone else where you can only see their sector times and lap times and a little bit of vision. For our own cars though, it's a very different story. We've got in-car vision which we can look at and that shows RPM, throttle, brake pressure, G, the speed and what gear we're using. So that's very handy. For this, we look at this a lot through the weekend between Andre and myself, looking at different lines, different gears and stuff like that for corners. So that's pretty handy. We can then cross-reference what we've got here with the actual car data as well. So I'm doing that exact thing today. So from quali, which we're looking at on the screen, I can then look at the laps that our cars have done. Again, looking at different things like gear position, brake application, throttle application, steering and all the critical elements of the driver inputs right here on this screen. And obviously by now we've done all of our planning from an engineering point of view as well. So on the computer I'll take today, I've got all of the notes from George, my engineer, as far as the structure of the weekend and what our plan is for the different sessions. For example, there's 10-minute qualifying sessions this weekend, 4 of them. They're very, very difficult ones because really you've only got one set of soft tyres to use in each and that means 1 lap. So it's almost like 4 shootout laps that we've got to try and execute perfectly because you're only going to get that one shot. The races are different compound tyres as well this year. So all of those notes and all of our strategy on how we're going to maximise those opportunities have been written down by my engineer and it's for me to digest at the moment and then later today we'll walk the track and that's a chance for us to look at the circuit but also have really good dialogue between myself and the engineering team of George and so on to talk about what their thoughts are and what the plans are and how we're going to execute the weekend. First things first, I'm going to settle in here for a few hours and look at all the vision from the category and then look at our own stuff here and try and maximise all of that information to go out there and do a good job for us this weekend. So this is one track where you've got to be careful that curb striker, the fast right-hander. You cross that one in this qualifying session and it's sort of game over. So it's an important one for us to look out for this weekend. So to talk through what this is I'm actually looking at, looks like something you'd see at a hospital from your heart rate, but it's not. It's some data that we've collected from the car. So very handy tool for the drivers to look at to try and work out how to go better, especially when you've got a good teammate to compare to. All the red traces you see in front of us here are mine and the white's Andre from last year. This is qualifying a lap. So what we've got up here is the engine revs. The bigger trace is the speed trace. Steering trace runs through the middle. The gear position, and then there's actually 2 traces down here. One is the throttle, and when it's up like that, that's 100% throttle, and then we've got the brakes here as well. So sounds complicated, but it's not once you get used to it. The big thing that we're looking at here, firstly, when you look at a screen like this, is the difference in speed trace. So you can see here, this is the fast chicane at the Grand Prix. The red is down a little bit quicker here, so that means I've de-accelerated the car faster than Andre, which is a bad thing. In this case because I'm a little bit slower than he is here, and then we can see from here, if I click a couple of buttons really quickly, there's a time difference up the top that we can see. So I'm losing time to Andre here because he's been able to come in a lot faster this corner than what I have been. But what that means is I can slow the car down, transition it better in the change of direction in the middle, and then get out better as well. So you can see there's a loss here for me, and a gain here on the exit, and that'll turn into a net gain for me. So that's a bit of a trait of slow in, fast out for myself, and it really depends on the corners that you're going to, whether you want to be able to do that or switch it around. For example, if there was a short straight here, you'd want to be coming in fast, so you're gaining under brakes, and then it wouldn't matter if you lose a bit under brakes, on the exit. So yeah, we're looking at this all the time. The other thing you can see here is my steering trace is really messy. So in the middle of the corner here, instead of having a nice big round steering input, I'm having to correct the car. So in other words, what this is showing is in the middle of the corner, unfortunately my car's got mid-corner oversteer. So turning in and the rear is trying to spin me around, which is not ideal. So that's the cause of some of this slower speed here. But what it does mean is I've been able to gather it up and get out pretty good as well. So not the sort of setup thing you want to see. It's something for us to work on this year, but in this instance it hasn't hurt us too much. So that's it for me here at Kelly Racing. Like I said, normally I'd check out some of this stuff on the aeroplane on the way over, but most of it's done either in the office or at home. So a bit weird now, we're at the workshop on a preparation day. So we're going to pack up the stuff now, we've checked everything out, head into the track, see how the guys are going with the garage setup and car setup, then do a bit of a track walk and a couple of photos like we always do, a few media commitments, and then we've got a function tonight to get to. So plenty still to do, so stick with us and we'll see how the rest of the day pans out. So here we are at Albert Park, just arrived. The crew have set the garage up, set the cars up, trucks parked up. So the job for us now is to chuck on the fluoro for setup day, but also the track walk. So we're going to head around the track now with the engineering group and just take a look at what some of the changes have been year on year. Hopefully not too much, but if there's a bit of a surface change or a different curb profile, we can take a look. It's also a good chance for us as well to talk about the plan and stuff that we've got for this weekend and spend some time together. For me, my engineer is based in Queensland, not at the race team in Brayside in Melbourne, so good chance for us to catch up again, a little bit of a refresher from where we ended up at Clipsal and talk about what we're going to achieve this weekend. Let's go. Set the market.
Yeah. You happy there?
But the grass is dug there for that timing line, see? Yeah. But he obviously hasn't got turn-in oversteer if you're dragging a lower gear in. We'll just keep it in mind. And you could see off the vision of the last three corners for everyone on the actual lap, it was gone. Yeah. Yeah, I would have to come out and hold real tight here and then reef it from that side. Yeah, whereas you used to just drift it and turn, but I had to get here and then do it. And then generally try and get two wheels to the grass to make it turn. Well, the camera angle never showed him at the curb, it only showed him here. And here, his car was flat, not wobbling. Well, that was a bit of an idea of what it's like to live in my shoes for a day on a setup day of one of our supercar events. We've done the track walk, spent some time with the engineering crew to understand what we're going to go through on the weekend, jumped in the car and make sure everything's sweet with the guys, changed a couple of things from Adelaide. Although my day doesn't end here, I've still got a couple of functions to do tonight. It is my time finished at the track, so thanks for joining us.